Hello YouTubers, welcome back to Rigor's Garage and Boat Basin here in wonderful South Florida. As you can see, we're recovering from the hurricane. Just had the gutters replaced and got roofing guys coming on Monday. Haven't made a lot of progress on the Grady White other than put the cover back on the nose after we found it, but we're trying to work on the house and get things corrected after 150 mile an hour winds. I hope you enjoy this, and likewise subscribe, and thanks for watching. Okay, working on hurricane damage here in wonderful Port Charlotte. As you can see, a lot of roofing. We got roofers coming in the next 2 weeks here. Got a couple pallets of roofing materials. But what I'm working on today is the pool enclosure. Well, here's the pool enclosure, and if you look, that's something they call it a screen frame or something like this. It's a 1x2 extrusion, but if you look at this one, you'll see, well, the screen didn't give out, the aluminum extrusion gave out, and so what I've got to do is replace this. Now, if you take a look, the total length of this, the one that's in here, is like 16 feet. However, I can't get them over somewhere between 8 and 10 feet, so I'm going to have to replace this in sections. So what I'm going to do, I think first I'm going to cut out this center section right here and just replace that section. As you can see, I've pulled out the screen spline, removed the screen so I can get up to work on the top screen frame. If you can take a look, you can see it's pulled out, and it's also loose because the screws have pulled out, so I have to fix that. Okay, I took my little cut-off tool and I cut off this section of trim, basically the screen frame. And one of the things you can see is the existing bolts were kind of rusted out. You can see up there. Now I have to put a new piece in. Okay, I've got the bad section of screen frame out, and you can see I've put a couple of Capri clips in to hold the new one, so I'm going to take and put the new piece of screen frame in. There's a new screen frame installed, and while I was at it, I put some new screws. I got a kit from Lowe's that contains new screws, and so I'm replacing the screws that are rusted. Now, I noticed when I put the new frame in, this was loose. Basically, the screws in here have come out, so I'm going to replace those. Now, these are the kind of screws that are in here. There's the shorter ones, they're like a number 8, and the longer ones are number 10s. You'll find the rust, for example, this one, well, that one isn't too bad. There's one of them there it is, it's rusted almost all the way through, right there in the middle. So you gotta take these out and you've gotta replace them periodically. Well, I replaced this screen that was blown out during the hurricane. If you notice, I took down the support in the corner, that bracket. That's the lateral support going to the foundation of the enclosure. I took this down, I repainted the bracket, and I also put the Nylotech screws in. At the same time, I have put all new screws into the enclosure, which by the way needs to be cleaned, so to reinforce all the points in the enclosure. Next thing I need to do is replace the fasteners that go into the concrete. Some of them, if you just take and tap on this, you see it moves. I have to install new fasteners, and that's my next project here. Okay, what I'm doing, right where the pool cage hooks on to the ground are some screws into the concrete. And if you look at these, they appear to be rusted. And that's what happens. The head breaks off, and we have to replace the screws. Once I get it out, okay? So what I'm doing is over here there's one. Let me get the parts I need. The kit that I'm using here. First thing down here, there's a drill that comes in the kit, and I drill it larger, the hole in the aluminum part, and I use this. This is a insulator, and what it does, it prevents galvanic corrosion between the aluminum in the pool cage and the stainless and the steel screw that goes into the concrete. So first you drill the hole bigger, and then I'm going to take the hammer drill and drill into the concrete, and I'm going to slide this in, put the screw in, and then if you take a look at the ones I've done already, there's a white cap that goes on top of the little cup. Okay, first thing is drill a new hole in the concrete. Okay, there's our hole. Now I'm going to put in this little adapter. Next is the impact with the screw. And the trim cap. That's it. I've only got about another 10 or 15 to do. But what that does is that holds the cage down to the concrete slab. Okay. On to the next task. So while working on the pool enclosure here, I noticed we had a lot of green slime all over all the white supports. I talked to a fellow over at Lowe's, and he recommended this 30-second outdoor cleaner. It comes in two forms. This one is the applicator. Basically is a half gallon in here, and you've got, you turn it this way, it's wash. You go through the center, it's off. You turn it this way, it's rinse. And what you do is you spray this up on the supports and the screens for the pool enclosure. Now, even though it says 30 seconds and it's fast acting, you're better off kind of letting it sit for somewhere between 5 and 8 minutes, but you don't want it to dry on the supports for the pool enclosure. It kind of gives a brown stain. So this is like 13 bucks, and then they have a refill, a gallon refill, which will fill up 2 of these, and so this is another $13. Basically, if you take a look at the pool enclosure, I mean, it all came out. The green slime is gone. It's all perfectly white. It's nice and clean. Found a matter of fact, I was so impressed with this. I did the shutters and the front and back of the house after the hurricane because of all the green scum. So, like I say, I think they ought to call it like 5-minute outdoor cleaner, but it's good stuff. Seems to work. Give it a try. Hey, you know, I think I went through 4 gallons of this, cleaning the inside and outside of the pool enclosure, the back of the house, the front of the house, and the gutters, and it did a really nice job. So, personally, you know, I paid for this out of my own pocket, but I recommend it. Well, I got the brace down. As you can see, it's bent. And this end, they cut a little tab and basically wedged it. If you look here, they wedged it under the top 2 braces, and then it went up to there where there was 1 screw. Well, I have to make a new brace, so we'll take it from there. Okay, what I'm trying to do is recreate the brace that goes up in the ceiling here, and cut these angles, and let me take a look here. Let me show you what I did. if you take a look here, what I did on the original brace, this is the toughest end. It goes up against the support that goes over the top of the pool, and I identified the longest point here and the shortest here. Then I took a Sharpie and this little square, and started here, and I drew, basically going around like this, a square all around the end of it. Yeah, okay, so I've got this square, and then I measured from this point to the line, in this case 2 7/16, this point to the line 1 5/8, this was 0, and this was 3/4, and that gave me the shape of the end. And I basically did, there was a very shallow angle on the other end, so I basically did the same thing. Then as you can see, I used a little vibrating doodad here, and I cut the end of the brace off. And if you take a look here, you will find these two ends appear to be the same, although obviously I need a hole there. But I have recreated a straight, you know, I've kind of tried this bent one, I've straightened it out as much as I can, but it's bent, and so I cut the ends. Now the next thing, hopefully I don't need a brace stretcher, but I'll adjust the angles to fit with a flap grind, basically an angle grinder with a flap disc on it. So there's how I recreated the brace. Now I've got to put it up, so we'll see what happens. Okay, I got the brace in. If you can see, it's got to be pushed up a little bit. There's a screw hole in the top that needs to be put back in the original hole. On this end, I don't know if you can see it, I put a capri clip on the bottom to hold it up, but it basically fits in there perfectly. So I'm waiting for the people coming to put the new screen over the top of the cage here, and see if when they get up there they'll pop a screw in it, and that ought to do it. Okay, I actually built a kit here of the parts that I use to work on the pool enclosure. That's the Nylotech screws, the flat rubber that goes in the screen, the little insulators that go into the concrete, the blue screws that go into the concrete, these caps, three clips. Actually, I put them all in one place, and basically I've got everything here to work on the pool enclosure, courtesy of this little box from Home Depot. Well, for the most part, pretty much got the pool enclosure done. A couple more screws here and there, but this will wrap it up for this episode. It's getting kind of long. Hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please like and subscribe, and thanks for watching.